On the news, Minister of Police Affairs says terrorists working with ISWAP to unleash terror in northeast Nigeria. Unknown gunmen right 9 local council areas in Anambra to prepare for attacks, dare Governor Soludo. And Makoko residents reject planned demolition of the community. Glad to have you join us on News Now. I am Mary Kanu. The Kaduna State government has raised an alarm about the activities of terrorist groups in the state. Speaking during the presentation of the first quarter security report for 2022 to the State Security Council, Commissioner for Internal Security and Home Affairs Samuel Arunwan said members of the Ansaru and Boko Haram terrorist groups have infiltrated some parts of Benin Gwari and Giwa local government areas. Governor Nasir El-Rufai expressed concern that the terrorists are moving from the northeast to the northwest with the intention of causing havoc, adding that those who attacked the Abuja-Kaduna-bound train were Boko Haram terrorists. The governor also expressed worry that the conduct of the 2023 general elections might be compromised in Kaduna State if the security challenges are not addressed. The Minister of Police Affairs, Mohammed Dingyadi, says the federal government is not resting on its promises towards tackling rising insecurity in the country. Speaking during a press briefing at the State House on the current state of policing and security in the country, as well as the ongoing innovation being executed in the police force, the minister said efforts have been utilized towards improving manpower requirements in Nigeria through recruitment of constables, information technology for biometric data capturing, and the establishment of the best West African police system for intelligence gathering in sub-Saharan Africa. The minister also revealed that all necessary guidelines for the new salary package for the force have been concluded and forwarded to the Ministry of Finance for onward implementation. This comes 5 months after the minister approved a 20% upward review of salary for the police expected to take effect from January 2022.
We also have the Police Specialized Automation Project that is called POSAP. In a bid to block financial leakages, deepen accountability and mitigate funding gaps for police in Nigeria, the ministry recently secured Federal Executive Council approval for Police Specialized Services Automation Project, POSAP. This project is envisaged that in the medium and long-term period, the project will deliver economic benefits and improved efficiencies for the police as follows. The automated process will bring about efficiency in eliminating subjectivity, lack of transparency in resource allocation and utilization, will increase the general working condition for the entire police force, advance the public perception and image of the Nigerian police force while improving professionalism. The Northeast, for instance, has a history of Boko Haram campaign against harmless citizens since 2009. These harmless terrorists subsequently formed alliance with the Islamic State of West Africa province, that is ISWAP, where they unleashed destructive terrorist activities on the zone. However, a fierce military might with police support has degraded the terrorist capability and dislodged them from their hitherto strong base in the northeast. They have now gone back into their cocoons, engaging in hit and run guerrilla tactics.
Still in security matters, a clearance operation conducted by the Nigerian troops during the past 3 weeks has culminated in the death of Abubakar Sarki, a Boko Haram terrorist commander in Sambisa forest. Also taken out during the coordinated attack at the terrorist enclaves is one Malam Shehu, a spiritual head for the criminal elements. The Director of Defense Media Operations, Major General Bernard Onyuko, disclosed this at a bi-weekly briefing which highlights the operational successes recorded by the Nigerian military and other security agencies in all the theatres of operation across the country. He also revealed that as of May 16th, no fewer than 53,000 terrorists and their families have so far surrendered to the Nigerian troops.
Of 1st to 14th May 2022, a total of 1,627 Boko Haram terrorists and their families surrendered to own troops at different locations within the theater. They comprise of 331 men, 441 women, and 855 children. As at 16th May 2022, a total of 53,262 Boko Haram elements and their families have so far surrendered. Also, on 13th May, based on credible intelligence reports, the troops of Operation Hadinkai arrested Malam Modu Goni, a terrorist logistics supplier at Buniyadi Market. Also, on the 17th of May, Malam Modu Pantami was apprehended at the outskirts of Benishek village in Kaga local government while attempting to transport large quantities of logistic items he purchased for onward supply to the terrorists at Gomari village.
A gunmen terrorizing Anambra State have sent letters to 9 local government areas indicating their plans to attack them. The listed local government areas are Ihiala, Agwata, Nnewi South, Oka North, Oka South, Idemili North, Idemili South, Orumba South, Orumba North, and Anambra East. The unknown gunmen in a message sent to the targeted local government areas challenged security operatives in the state to get ready for action in Biafra land. They also urged the state governor Charles Soludo to request for the release of a leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, or face continuous war in the state. Meanwhile, responding to the letter, the Chief Press Secretary to the Governor, Christian Aburime, described the letter as fictitious, urging the people of the state to remain calm and law-abiding as the government will soon restore normalcy in the state. Well, to discuss this further, Patrick Agbambu, security expert, joins me now on the news. Well, thank you very much for joining me on the news. Now, the stories emanating from the southeast are worrying, from the forced sit-at-home order to the constant killings, and now the notification of attack by unknown gunmen to the local government areas. Are we to say the unknown gunmen are becoming brazen, and would you say their actions are founded on the need for the creation of a different country or just sheer criminality?
Thank you for having me. The situation, it's not strange. This have been said before. I have on this channel. I have talked about the growth, so to say, of this so-called unknown gunmen, which we all know who they are, and though the Nigerian media and the public chose to call them unknown gunmen, but we know who they are, and that is part of the reasons why they seem to be getting stronger and stronger, and seems to be threatening the people the more. These are a bunch of criminals, and it's not about any longer about secession, and it must be identified and be addressed as what it is, and that is the problem. Why they are getting this bullying is because the people who should rise up against them are just having a conspiracy of silence, and this is the reason why they can brazenly write letters to local governments and threatening threatening havoc in a state that is known for industry, a state that is known for peace. So it's sad that we had allowed it to foster for this long, really. But I think it calls for real action to be taken if this must stop. Because currently, as we speak, there's no livelihood taking place again in Southeast because of the fear of this so-called Odun gunmen.
Now, this letter, that is the threat by the unknown gunmen, typical of the government of the state, is that the notice is fictitious and they're asking people to go about their normal lives and are working to restore peace and sanity in the state. Do you agree with this? Do you think so too?
I don't think that even the people will respect or obey to what the government, the state government is saying, that people should go about their business. Because if you remember, just about 3 weeks ago, the executive governor of the state did ask that the Monday sit at home should not be obeyed by civil servants. They should go all out to work and all that. But nobody obeyed that because of the fear this gang of criminals have instilled in the people. And I think that no matter what the government says, the rhetorics or whatever, I don't think the people have that courage to come out because they have seen so many of their citizens being killed, being maimed, being harassed, being adopted. So I think action must be taken to seriously address this concern, because a lot of people are really concerned, even though they are being silent on it.
Well, Patrick Agbambo, security expert, thank you for joining us on the news, for your time and contributions. Well, still in state affairs, the Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has reimposed the ban on motorcycles, also known as Okada, in some local government areas of the state, while listing 6 local governments, including Ikeja, Surulere, Etiosa, Lagos Mainland, Lagos Island, and Apapa. Governor Sanwo-Olu announced that the ban is indefinite and total. Speaking while giving the order with all DPOs and area commanders across the state at the Lagos House in Ikeja, the governor revealed that other security agencies will join in the enforcement, which will take effect from June 1st, 2022. Well, to give more perspective on the motorcycle ban, I spoke to the Chief Press Secretary to the Lagos State Governor Gboyega Akosile on what prompted the decision by Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu to reimpose the ban.
The first pronouncement was made 2 years ago by the Governor of Lagos State when we announced restrictions on major highways and in some local governments and LCDAs. This is because of so many reasons. One among the reasons is the recklessness of the Okada riders on Lagos roads. Two, Okada operators have become a willing tool in the hands of criminals who use their means of transportation as a very vital tool for escape whenever they carried out their dastardly acts. Several people have gone to their early graves as a result of these guys, because they're not trained, they don't know how to ride these motorcycles, and they just go on the road. They're not even licensed. They just get on the road and they're very reckless. They're very mannerless. And it's becoming a problem for the citizens themselves. And, everybody is crying, everybody's shouting that the government should do something about it. And of course, being a very responsible and very responsive government, Mr. Governor announced a restriction at that time. Now, we thought that the restriction, according to the governor, we thought that the restriction will help to curb their excesses, their activities, but we were wrong. Rather than for them to go down, they kept going up. The numbers kept increasing, and the influx into Lagos is becoming monumental. And it's becoming a major challenge for us to contain them. And they're not ready, they're not willing to subject themselves to the law, to the rules and regulations, traffic rules and regulations. So government has no choice than to place a ban, a total, complete ban on them.
Now, you mentioned that in the year 2020, 2 years ago, the government gave an order banning and restricting motorcycles from some local government areas. And 2 years later, the conversation is still ongoing. Now, this brings us to you talking about the enforcement process. How does the Lagos State government hope to implement the ban? And as Lagosians, what are we to expect?
We are going to enforce it. So if you watched yesterday, we had a high-powered meeting with the security apparatus, the police yesterday. And today there will be another security meeting. And of course, they are fully ready. The Nigerian police gave the governor their word yesterday, their assurance that they're going to go all out to enforce this new ban. Trust me, it's not going to be business as usual. It's not going to be treating anybody with kid gloves again. Starting from June 1st, it's going to be a total war that we're declaring on Okada operators, especially in those 6 local governments and 9 LCDAs that are inside those local governments.
That was Boyega Koshile, Chief Press Secretary to the Lagos State Governor, speaking on the ban of motorcycle operations in the state. Well, residents of Makoko and Okoagbon communities, the biggest floating slums in Lagos, have protested the proposed demolition of the communities by the Lagos State government. The residents who gathered at a hall in the community expressed their displeasure at the proposed plan. They accused the government of displacing them from their ancestral home under the guise of development. Our correspondent Folashade Ogurinde tells us more in this next report.
These residents of Makoko, Shogunro and Okeagbon communities in the Lagos mainland local government area may have sung this chorus with admirable vocals, but their demands are clear. They want the government to back off their lands and waters, as well as scrap any planned demolition of their communities. Reading out a 6-point demand, one of the residents on behalf of the communities, Koja Finis, spelled out in clear terms the demands of the communities.
We say no to land grabbing and stop grabbing our homes, please. Stop grabbing our homes from us. Here is where we are born and we have the right to that. Number 2, don't chase us out. Please and please do not chase us out of our homes. Number 3, the right to live here is a right. Government must not take away from us. That is our right. Government, you mustn't take away this right from us. The right to live here is our right. We want adequate compensation for our people affected unconditionally. So many things have happened to us. Please, we want adequate compensation. Yes to development, but under democratic what? Representation. We are saying yes to it, but it should be under democratic representation.
A school teacher representing Okeagbon youths, Frederick Femi Honfo, explained that despite being a slum, the community has produced notable persons in the society. He also added that the community depends heavily on fishing, which he says is their primary source of income.
If you evacuate us from here, where are they going to buy the fishes? We have mosques here, churches, schools, everything it takes for a community to have. We have everything. We don't want the dredging. We don't want somebody to come and fill our lagoon from there. Because if they do, it's going to affect us. But remember, it's going to affect also other communities.
The residents say 4 years ago, the Lagos State government, under the guise of development, displaced other riverine communities in Otodo-Gbame, where residents were chased out and their building burnt to the ground. The counsel to the communities, Ayo Ademuliyi, has said residents will put up a resistance against anyone who wishes to displace them. Folashade Ogurinde, TV360 News.
We'll take a break now, but still to come, President Buhari departs for Abu Dhabi to meet new UAE President. We'll bring you details of the story and more right after this break. Welcome back. A recap of our top stories tonight. The Minister of Police Affairs, Mohammed Dingyadi, says the federal government is not resting on its promises towards tackling rising insecurity in the country. Speaking during a press briefing at the State House on the current state of policing and security in the country, as well as the ongoing innovation being executed in the police force, the minister said efforts have been utilized towards improving manpower requirements in Nigeria. We also told you that residents of Makoko and Okwagbon communities, the biggest floating slums in Lagos, have protested the proposed demolition of the communities by the Lagos state government. The residents who expressed their displeasure at the proposed plan accused the government of displacing them from their ancestral home under the guise of development. Well, in case you missed any of our news bulletin or for more updates, do log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Google Plus at TV360 Nigeria. On Facebook, we're at TV360 Online. The World Health Organization has authorized the use of Chinese manufacturer's CanSinoBio's single-shot COVID-19 vaccine, making it the third Chinese-made vaccine to be approved by the WHO after Sinovac and Sinopharm. According to the UN agency, the vaccine was found to have 64% efficacy against symptomatic disease and 92% efficacy against severe COVID-19. WHO experts added that the jab, which has already been rolled out in China, Argentina, Chile, Malaysia, Mexico and Pakistan, meets the standards for protection against COVID-19 and is recommended for people aged 18 and above. We'll take another break and return with business updates, so stay with us.
In the last 3 years, we have built a multi-purpose center, which is the envy of all in our constituency. And I can tell you that the people who are living there are already enjoying it.
Guy, do you think what this man just said is true? See, I seriously doubt. I'm sure it's one of those their silly lies.
Wait, do you know there's a way to find out if these things he's saying is true or not? This is the Construct app. It gives people like us a sure way to track implementation of constituency projects. It gives valid and verified information on location of projects, amounts allocated, amount funded, the level of job done, and even the profiles of concerned legislators. You and I can post directly on this app.
Are you serious?
This is the Go-To app if you want to know how our Commonwealth is being expanded by the government.
Wow. Let's even see if what this man said is true. Show me.
The Construct app is developed by Other People Nigeria with support from USAID and is available on both Google Play Store and Apple Store.
And it's true.
Of course, I told you.
Welcome back. It's time for business news and stock market review with Folashade Ogunrinde. Over to you, Folashade.
Well, many thanks, Mary. And in business, domestic airlines and other agencies of the airline operators of Nigeria have said that rising operational costs occasioned by aviation fuel price hikes, foreign exchange shortage, among others, may push the base economic flight ticket to 100,000 naira. The spokesperson for local airlines and chairman United Airlines, Obiora Okonkwo, made the disclosure in an interview on Wednesday in Abuja. Aside from the lingering aviation price hike crisis, the airline chief said local operators were being compelled to source foreign exchange from the parallel market at high rates due to a lack of adequate supply from the Central Bank of Nigeria via the commercial banks. The World Bank says it is ready to disburse a sum of $30 billion to fund existing and new projects in Nigeria and other countries as part of a global response to combat the ongoing food security crisis. The Global Bank disclosed this on Wednesday when it announced how it plans to be part of a comprehensive global response to the ongoing food security crisis. The project expected to support agriculture, social protection to cushion the effects of higher food prices and water and irrigation projects. But we'll take a breather here and be back with a review of the stock market. Just stay with us. After a bearish performance yesterday, the Nigerian equities market seemed to have made a rebound as trading ended in the greens at 1.05%. Now we see that all-share index sat pretty on the table at 53,275 basis points, while capitalization hovered around the 28 trillion naira mark. Let's take a look at equities that helped make that happen. Transcorp Hotels PLC and Better Glass PLC led the gainers chart with a combined profit of 6 naira, while on the losers counter, Connoy PLC and Ethanol PLC led a combined loss of 3 naira 85 kobo. Now, with all of these transactions, markets ended with a 274 million volume of shares valued at over 8 billion naira, exchanging hands in 5,181 deals. Now, away from the NGX, let's see how some of our selected global stocks performed, shall we? Now, with this table speaks for itself, the FTSE Dow Jones and Nikkei are all in the reds. The UK market in free fall as traders panic due to inflation crisis, closing in the reds at 1.82%. Now, for the US stock market, falls sharply as investors worry about recession, making it the worst trading day since June 2020. Asian stock Nikkei also did not fare better, closing in the reds at 1.89%. Well, that's it on Stock Market Review. Back to Mary for the rest of the news.
Thank you, Folashade. Now, on the global scene, President Muhammadu Buhari is on his way to the United Arab Emirates to convey his condolences on the passing of the former president and ruler of Abu Dhabi, Sheikh Khalifa bin Zayed, and to meet with the nation's new president, Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed. The president, in an earlier congratulatory message to the new UAE leader, had reaffirmed Nigeria's cordial relationship with the country, noting that the cooperation between both governments have helped Nigeria in tracking down illegal assets and tracing terrorist funds. Under the new leadership, President Buhari said he looks forward to a bigger and stronger partnership for peace, stability and prosperity of both countries. And now in sport, Tottenham Hotspur forward Chioma Ubogagu has been banned from sports for 9 months after an anti-doping violation the Football Association in England announced in London on Thursday. The Independent Regulatory Commission imposing the suspension accepted the player had committed the violations unintentionally. Tottenham, who signed the former Arsenal and Real Madrid player last summer, said in a statement on the official website the banned substance was either medication Ubogagu had been prescribed in the US to treat acne and had not known it was prohibited. Due to the ban, Ubogagu will be off playing fields till October 2022. Well, that's the size of our news bulletin this evening. Thank you for watching. I am Mary Kanu. Bye for now.